Guys, make sure you stay until the end. We want to share one good advice with you. If you make that simple mistake, you may end up spending thousands of dollars on parts and repairs, diagnostics that you may actually not even need. Make sure you stay until the end. We'll explain what we're talking about. Hey guys, welcome back to World Mechanics. Today guys will be super helpful video to any of you having a Chrysler 300. We're talking about the generation here from year 2014 to year 2024. If you have a problem where the heater doesn't work, you wonder, okay, what causes that? By the way guys, it could be simple fix, but it could be something that you may need to fix without spending any money. We're going to explain what it is, but if not fixed on time, you may destroy your engine and you may end up spending thousands of dollars in repairs. Stay with us, we'll explain what it is. If you need to buy replacement parts too, so at a good price, quick shipping, that way do not waste money and time. We're going to put the information in the description of the video below, so let's start on it now. So guys, before we start, let us tell you a little bit about us. Every single car we get here at the garage, we try to make at least 200 to 300 free repair videos. Why we guys do that? Because our mission in the shop is to save as much money as we can. All we need in return, please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, that way we can keep making these free videos. We show you how to fix engines, transmission, bodywork, fuses, relays, all that stuff guys. And if you need to buy cheap parts and tools at a good price, quick shipping, we'll put a link in the description of the video below. Guys, check out our YouTube channels. We have more than 15,000 free repair videos that can save you thousands of dollars in future repairs. So if the heater doesn't work, the first thing you want to check is fuses, relays for climate control system. Let's explain where they're located, then we will explain what else you need to do guys. We need to work in two different fuse boxes. The first one, we need to open the hood. And when you open the hood guys, you need to face your engine. You may be facing V6, V8, it should work for either. On the left side of the car, that's the passenger side, is the main engine fuse box. Press the tabs together, lift the cover up, and you're going to find underneath a fuse box with a layout like this one here. Before we guys continue, let's explain quickly why it's always a good idea to test fuses and relays. Guys, it's very important to always test your fuses and relays. Why? Sometimes you may think you have a good fuse guys. It's hard to tell. Look at those fuses, right? And sometimes, okay, you pull the fuse, okay, I'm going to get the fuse puller and I'm going to remove one fuse. I want to show you on that 20 amp fuse, sometimes it's very unclear if that fuse is burned or not. You may not clearly see it. So always guys test them, because if you don't test the fuse, you assume it's good, you end up spending money, time and diagnostics for problems that do not exist guys. So you can just waste your money and time. Always test your fuses, always test relays. We will put links in the description of the video below where you can find guys a video for testing a fuse and testing a relay that will explain everything that you need to do. If you guys need to buy any parts, tools for your Dodge Ram, fuses, relays at a really good price, quick shipping, that way you do not waste money and time, we're going to put a link in the description of the video below for your convenience. Please check it out. So here for the heater, two fuses need to be checked for the climate control system. Then we need to go to a trunk and check a different fuse box, and we need to check a few more components where they're located. Now we're talking first about fuse number 12, that 10 amp fuse right here. Then fuse number 39 will need to be checked as well. After that, open the trunk guys. When you open the trunk, leave the carpet liner up on the back side. Underneath you have the spare tire. That's the car battery on the passenger side. Right behind the battery you have a fuse box, and that's a closer look of that fuse box. Press the tabs together, leave that cover up, and you will open a fuse box with a layout like this one here. Now specifically here we need to check fuse number 15. Then in that row here, that's 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32. That fuse number 32, that's barely visible, that 15 amp fuse needs to be checked. Fuse number 53 will need to be checked right here, and relay 71. If all that is good guys, what else can easily cause the heater not to work? Now first let me show you, okay, one thing, okay, we're going to check here before we get to the engine part. Here you have one device, that's the climate control sensor in the interior. You have a few of those. If you have a malfunctioning climate control sensor, you may not detect correctly the temperature in the cabin, and that can cause the heater not to work. If the heater all of a sudden stops, you see that's your serpentine valve. That same engine has been used in Chrysler 300, Charger, Challenger. All these three vehicles are built on the same platform, so most of the things will work the same. That belt is driven by the crankshaft pulley right here when the engine turns over. and it's going to spin the water pump. The water pump will circulate the coolant, and that hot coolant will go to the heater. That's what releases the heat in the cabin. If that belt comes off, breaks, falls off, the water pump will not be driven. As a result, guys, okay, the heater will quit working, the engine will start overheating, and you can destroy your engine in just a few minutes. Overheating and destroy it, guys. That could be one of them. So make sure the belt is good. Never put your fingers close to it, because if the engine is turning, you will take them off. Next, you have that device that's known as thermostat. The thermostat, guys, that's the number one reason probably that we see at the garage. It regulates the temperature of the engine. It stays closed until the engine reaches a certain temperature, then it opens, and what happens? Coolant goes through the radiator and cools. But if that thing is stuck open, cold coolant will be coming in the engine all the time, and especially on highway driving, cold days, going downhill, you will notice that the heater will start getting weak and cold. That will be because the thermostat is stuck open. So, bad thermostat, if you want to know the symptoms of bad thermostat, we have multiple videos that will explain that step by step, and how to replace thermostat. Okay, on that 3.6 engine, we have the video too. Now, another thing, when the engine is cold, let it sit overnight, check the coolant level. If the coolant level is low, the heater will not work correctly as well. Never open the reservoir when the engine is hot. It can actually, guys, burn you severely as well. But coolant leak can cause that too, so make sure you have good amount of coolant. Next, if you replaced, let's say, thermostat, radiator hose, radiator, anything that involved water pump, anything that involved draining the coolant, if you didn't bleed the cooling system the correct way, what will happen, guys, you may end up having an air pocket in the heater core or the engine that can prevent the coolant from circulating, and that can cause the heater not to work, but also it can cause the engine to overheat and destroy it. So always try to bleed the cooling system. We'll have videos on our YouTube channels how to do that on Dodge Chrysler vehicles. Next, guys, it could be bad water pump. Water pump may not circulate, that can cause it too. Another thing that we see is a clogged up heater core. That's the radiator behind the dash that the coolant goes through. If it's clogged up, hot coolant will not be able to enter and exit through it. As a result, heat will not be released in the cabin. Another thing, guys, okay, something that most people overlook. You have that device, actually you have two of them, for dual climate control, one for single climate control. It's known as a blend door actuator. It attaches to a flap behind the dash that regulates the temperature from hot to cold. Inside it has plastic gears and a motor. Usually they crack, wear out, or the motor quits working. It may be stuck in the wrong position. As a result, the heater may be stuck on cold. And when that happens, even though your heater works amazing, perfectly fine, if it's stuck in cold position, you get only cold air in the cabin. So bad blend door actuator is something that we see quite often. And thermostat is another one. Now, another thing, guys, if you want to know the symptoms of bad blend door actuator, how to test blend door actuator, and even how to replace one, we'll have videos on our YouTube channels that will teach you guys how to do that, but those are some of the most common things we see at the garage. So guys, that generation Chrysler 300 has all kinds of different size of fuses, guys. You can see different fuses, relays. That's the engine fuse box, that's the trunk fuse box. Those could be really hard to find, some of them, guys. And if you're in the middle of nowhere, you need a replacement, you cannot get one, you may be stuck, guys. So we recommend to buy some, put in the glove box for peace of mind, keep some spare ones. We'll put a link in the description of the video below where you can get them at a good price, quick shipping. That way you do not waste money and time. Hopefully the video was helpful, guys. Thank you for watching and see you next time.